Thank you so much for joining me today at Empowerment Zone. It was a true celebration, and I wanted to feel women empowered, and I wanted to feel them successful. And thank you so much for finding time and actually coming in for the photo shoot for the Empowerment Zone. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. So, what is your background, and can you give a little bit background of yourself?
Well, I'm a Detroit native, so born and raised in Detroit. I am an esthetician, so I became an esthetician when I was 19. I became an instructor when I was 21, and I've been teaching ever since. And I wanted to do something different. So I work with a lot of young girls, and I pour into a lot of young girls because that's just who I am. Like, I'm naturally just a giver. And I just felt like I wanted to have a bigger impact, like I wanted to do something different. So then I got into women empowerment about 4 years ago, and it has become a passion of mine. Through that, I've become a certified life coach, and then I've also become a public speaker. Just finding my way to share my gift with people. Self-love is like my niche. So I have a self-love workbook, and it's called the Self-Love Formula, and it's really just teaching women how to love themselves properly and how to identify with the steps that they need in order to really figure out if they're loving themselves in a proper way. I feel like I want to be that person that I needed when I was younger for other people. So that mentor or that person that I felt like I needed to teach me or pour into me, I try to be that for other people. Just to give especially girls that look like me access to things like that, because I know growing up in my household it wasn't a lot about love yourself or like having boundaries, and it was kind of like you just do what your parents said. So that saying when they say like your parents is your first bully, that was like true to me, because it was kind of like do what I said and that's just it, you don't have any questions. And it put me in a bubble, and it took me a very long time to get out of that bubble. So I just want to be that light for other people, just to make sure that they are pouring into themselves, because you can't do stuff for other people if you're not taking care of you, and I think that's really important.
Well, first of all, congratulations. It sounds like it's a very successful book, and I do know and I do understand and I do resonate with how I was growing up. And yes, in my household it was very strict, and it was very less expression of love. And after 30 years being here in the United States, seeing my mom and my dad actually told them that I taught them how to love, because they were seeing the way I was expressing to my son how much I love him and hug him and kiss him. And my mom is 75 years old right now, and she's saying, you taught me how to love. So with that, I absolutely resonate with your message. And can I ask you, do you have a specific steps in your book, that you can share? Can you share one step how to love yourself, not just for us growing up women, because we can deal with our energy, we can deal with our balance because we know how to balance ourselves. But for the young generation, for our future, can you give one healthy step on how to love yourself?
Yeah. Most important one, I think, for me is the first step, and it's self-awareness. Understanding exactly who you are, where you are emotionally, being able to identify the feelings you have when you're reacting to situations. I feel like it's very important to just sit in yourself and be aware of exactly who you are. And you don't have to like it. You don't have to like who you are, because we can change. We're people. We're always evolving. We're changing. But I think it's important for people to get to a space where they know exactly who they are and just sit in it, because there's no way that you can change or grow or make yourself better if you don't know exactly where you stand.
I see your point, but you know what? Sometimes they're young youth and young adults and young women are in the situation that they have no way out. And I can speak of myself, because once I was in the situation that I did love myself, but I didn't have enough strength to walk out to where I was at. So what would you recommend on that?
I would recommend, honestly, getting a support system, finding somebody, anybody. I can relate to that too. I was in a situation when I had my second son that I didn't know how to get out of, and I was aware, like I was very aware what was happening to me, but I didn't have the inner strength to walk away. And I feel like you need to find somebody that you can just talk to. You need to be honest with yourself about exactly where you are, and it's kind of like not being in a situation when you're like the good outweigh the bad, but really just being honest with yourself. And then if you don't have anybody to talk to, go to your spiritual guides, whatever you believe in spiritually. Get you a journal, write it down. If you want to go and you feel like I can't walk away, I'm not ready, write it every day, write it down. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna leave. When I leave, my life is gonna be this way. And you just continue to repeat those things to yourself until you get, okay, I want this for myself. I have an I am statement that I look in the morning every day, and it's just a statement of saying, I am strong, I am a great mom, I am empowered, I'm going to be great, I'm empathetic, I'm going to continue to stay this way, I'm not depressed. And I say these things to myself even if I'm feeling depressed. You're not depressed, Demi. Yes. You're not depressed. And I'm going to keep on saying it. Feel like I say life and death is in the power of the tongue. That's true. If you want something to happen, you want to manifest something, you have to speak it. If you feel like you're alone, Demi, you're not alone. You're not alone.
You're a very courageous woman.
Thank you.
Can you give one message, not just to the youth, but to all, one courageous message? What that would be?
The best thing you can do in this world is be yourself. The absolute best thing that you can do. If you can walk in your truth, you're able to conquer anything.
Rock on, girl. Can I hug you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
That was so beautiful. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed this. Thank you for having me.